I don't know any of that. That's you guys.
You're gonna have
I'm gonna focus on talking.
Can you use these and
Yes.
I'll use
So yeah, sure. So I'm talking, swapping.
All right, yeah.
Okay, so
I have that one call. I've got point yeah. 2023 bad astronaut. Air hockey over. Then you don't have to turn that. Yeah.
find out who's the champion of
To the challenge, the lounge there in the description. So they can follow the chart.
yeah.
All right.
Our angle got screwed up when we did that. Guys, it's not terrible. All right, we are.
Fine.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Tim Weissman. I'm here in Houston, Texas, and we've got some Jacob Weissman, who you can see on the table right now warming up, versus Austin Fernandez. Jacob is a previous world champ. He won 2017 Worlds at Rice University. And Austin Fernandez had his best finish ever at the previous Worlds. I think he finished 6th, I believe. Jacob has been 2nd at 3 World Championships in a row, only being stopped by the dominant world champ Colin Cummings, who's now out of Hawaii. And we got the face-off. Referee is Anthony Marino, veteran. Austin wins the face-off and goes for a fast cut. Goes right in. Jacob with a right wall over is inaccurate. Goes for a cut, gets blocked. Misses the right wall under, although Austin was frozen. Jacob loses his mallet. Austin gets possession. A block by Jacob. Beautiful right wall under. That's one of Jacob's bread and butter shots. Nice defense. Austin also has an amazing right wall under. Oh, no, he almost saved that puck. If you keep the puck from touching anything other than the tabletop, you can maintain possession. Jacob misses his cross. Slows down. Fernandez slows down, but then mishits, loses possession. Jacob misses the over, and he hits the cut. I'm going to be here joined by Ben Heyman. Ben Heyman is actually really good friends with world champion Colin Cummings, who I was just mentioning. Absolutely. You grew up playing against him. You also grew up, I think, playing against Austin Fernandez, who's in this.
I did. Yeah, I used to watch Colin playing soccer with Austin, too.
Nice.
So it's kind of funny. You can see them all grow up.
Yeah. Jacob goes for a quick cross, misses his over, misses another over. Jacob trying a little forehand action.
I know.
Trying to keep it fresh and unique. Oh, it looks like I thought that went in, but actually, yeah. Jacob, it's interesting. Jacob's story is that he recently lost a challenge match to Chris Gibson, and which was a big upset
It was.
because I think Gibson was ranked around 18th or 19th, something like that, and Jacob was ranked third, which was a shocking upset. But Gibson has been practicing immensely and showed what that will do. So now Jacob, I think, is, he may have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder coming into this tournament. Wants to prove to people that maybe that wasn't accurate.
I think there's a lot of people with that mindset as well. Oh my God. It's like in the last match, you got to see.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Good shot. Anthony Marino take on Jacob Munoz with the win there.
That was a very well executed right wall over. Jacob goes for a sort of a push cut. Yeah, Anthony Marino, who is the referee right now, just finished a match against Jacob Munoz and defeated him, which is a massive upset.
Match point either way.
Yeah, match point either way.
That's a good
Great.
match to watch.
Oh, great. Left wall under. Timeout by Jacob. Jacob looks like he's sort of being a bit telegraphed in his shots. He doesn't have his what he was doing at the Worlds, which is having his wrist cocked and held back for a little while. His wrist is actually facing forward until he's ready to shoot, which makes it very obvious when the shot's going to come. Off the table by Austin, so Jacob will get possession.
If you're just joining us, how this is going to work. So each match is going to be that's 4 out of 7. And right now we're in game 1.
Yeah. You can see our venue is not our normal venue. We're in a sort of the warehouse section of a Bad Astronaut Brewing, which is really an amazing place to visit. I would recommend people come out and check out all the different games and activities they have.
I think I love about it is it's all ages too. Like there's a children's birthday party earlier today.
Yep.
And then there's an art party last night. Like they just got everything.
I think we're 5-5 here. Yeah, they had this. It was a really cool art gallery here in this same, sort of a warehouse space last night.
I believe we're at game point 5.
We might be now. A nice block by Jacob, just holding out there, letting the straight just bounce right off of his mallet.
Whoa. Oh, I love when the speed starts to come in air hockey.
That was a nice get by Jacob. Yeah, just
you wanted that.
Wonderful reflexes.
There's this picture of Jacob where his wrist is all the way like he just finished a coiled shot.
Mm-hmm.
And every time there's like a picture perfect moment when he takes a shot.
Yeah.
This far away.
Off goal. I'm not sure if it was off goal or a missed cross. And
oh wow,
looks like
game point
either way.
Oh,
Jacob just rushed that shot. Oh, and Austin clubs, gives the puck back over.
Oh,
Jacob almost had that left wall under.
that's a frustrating thing when you're playing and that happens.
Oh, it was there.
was.
Austin had it. Jacob barely missing. And he gets the
Oh.
right wall under.
Oh, yeah. Snap of a shot. I
That
love
was excellent. That was great. And that's game one. Game one to Jacob.
You can, if you want to switch back and forth, this is the live feed audio from. It's just delayed. If you want to hear whatever.
And did you switch to game 2? I know, did you switch to game 2 now? You did? Like back? Game
Oh
2?
no, you gotta go back and into game 2. Sorry. There you go.
This is too loud.
It's 2 guys.
All right.
All right, so game one to Jacob, 7-6. I think traditionally Jacob plays well against Austin, but Austin made a bit of a leap in his air hockey skills in the last year.
Oh, he's got a good one pass.
Oh, that's amazing reflex there. Jacob got a transition right wall under. Austin barely missed the left wall, misses the cross, then the cross goes right into Jacob's mallet.
Wow.
Again into his mallet. Wow.
I'm loving the speed that's in this match.
Yeah, both these guys have really fast, quick muscle reflexes.
Great block.
Yeah, great block. Goes off the table. Jacob gets possession because he was on defense.
Now Austin gets the puck. Anytime that puck comes off the table, whoever made that offensive action is going to be the one that gets rid of the puck and goes to the other person.
It's a nice cut, just barely missed. I think he had Jacob. Jacob trying to get into a rhythm here. Oh. So one of the things that is a challenge for some players is unforced errors in air hockey, knocking it off the table too much. And, if you can clean that up, beautiful
Wow.
left wall
Gorgeous.
over. I didn't know Jacob had that shot, actually.
That's beautiful. Who did that shot remind you of?
Corbin.
With Syed kind of thing?
Oh, yeah.
Table number 2. Brian Crawford versus Sarah Wiseman, Red Fire. Brian Crawford
I think the puck came over towards the booth. Really went high. So if you're joining us here today to see some professional air hockey,
You're good.
I'm happy you're here. That was a nice right wall over by Jacob. Looks like we're 2-0. I think.
I think it's 3-0 actually.
Okay.
Change it.
3-0.
Oh,
And that was a nice left wall
Oh,
over
nice.
by Austin. Jacob's playing sort of a different style than that he played at Worlds. Not sure if he's just trying something different. Maybe because he lost the match with Gibson, that maybe he's trying to rekindle a different style of play.
Yeah.
But I would say he'd be better off to try to do what he did at Worlds, because his attack was just so good. I mean, he pushed Colin to the absolute limit.
He definitely kept up with him.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it was the first match in their history that I felt like they were on the same, it's like, I don't know who's going to win this.
And if you haven't seen that video, you'll see that on the spinner line.
Yeah, absolutely.
That final was just, the crowd was in it, the emotion was in it. You just feel everything.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Jacob just did. That's what he was doing at World. That's not though what he just did.
Yeah.
It's interesting. He's kind of just switching it up.
I gotta take that sticker off. Can't see your logo.
Oh, that was an excellent block. That was one of Austin's patented right wall unders, which is just so fast. And Jacob goes for the cross, barely misses it. Ooh, goes for a touch cut. I think he went for a right wall over there. Oh my Lord. Oh, that's a left wall under that had serious power behind it.
6-2. 6-2 is a hard place to come back from.
Yeah, it is. Although I'll tell you, I think being up 6-2 or 6-3 can be a very dangerous place, because you can let down emotionally and start thinking that you've got this game won, and then the guy or whoever you're playing gets a point, and then maybe another point. Now it's 6-4. Then you start to kind of get a little nervous, right?
And now they're fired up.
Yeah, and they're coming back.
I can just come back and do it.
Yeah, so I agree. I would rather be up 6-2. I promise you that. But when I'm up 6-2, I'm thinking to myself, I need to finish this.
Let's see if he does finish this.
So now it's 6-3. 6-3 is the notorious, like when I teach, new air hockey players, teach my kids, I tell them 6-3 is probably the most dangerous place to be when you're up if you don't have a fire in the belly. You need to try to just eliminate the opponent at that point. Good block.
These are very heavy hitters playing.
Yeah.
Usually when you think of a fast, there it is.
That's what Jacob was doing at Worlds. What he just did there. He had his wrist cocked back. It was in an execute position for enough time for his opponent to just not be sure when the shot was going to come. So we're 2 games though. Jacob's talking to the ref about something. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah.
Maybe he was wondering one of those shots that went off the table, whether or not the correct possession was given.
That puck has been flying off a lot. I can't tell if it's just because they're heavy hitters. Is it the puck maybe, the table?
Yeah. I don't know. Someone else was telling me that they felt the puck on the feature table needed to change. And so I don't know if it did get changed or if this is the same one. A lot of times when all the adrenaline's pumping, it's getting knocked off because you're just hitting it too hard. You don't have enough finesse behind it. There's a way to make a puck go fast without hitting it super hard.
And that's something, right? Like that was a hard. You can see the elbow being used. Like that was a pretty hard shot.
Right. Right, and I think the way you can make a puck go really fast without imparting tons of force is by creating a whip with your wrist at the very end. There's a nice setup. Great block by Austin. Austin with a transition right wall over. Austin's defense is so far out. Crazy far. I mean, some of the time, he's 3/4 of the way to the center line. That's a great block by Jacob. That's the kind of transition play that Jacob has sort of cleaned up at Worlds that he wasn't doing. He should have just grabbed the puck in that scenario. Instead, he went for transition and knocked it off, lost possession. That was an excellent cut. Austin did sort of a reverse circle drift. Yep, 2-1. There's a nice block by Austin. Austin looks like he's real fired up here.
He does.
Good timeout. That was
a
a smart time to take a timeout. Austin looks like he's locked on. And look how far he rocks out there with his defense.
Yeah. Touching the center line. Lost mallet. If you lose your mallet, stops possession. Give up the possession as well.
I think Jacob probably needs to weather the storm right now. Let Austin sort of burn the fuel he's got going and just survive long enough to kind of get back. But see, look at that. I mean, that's just how do you block that?
Oh, same with that.
Yeah.
Heavy hitters.
So, unforced error. Austin hasn't been wanting to let that cut go in. Jacob's really trying to get it going. I think Jacob's probably going to be better off sticking with that right wall under long enough until Austin finally decides he's not going to hold that out position. This is Austin's little reverse circle drift. And it went right into Jacob's mallet. Jacob with a nice transition, forehand under.
Ooh. I'm honestly surprised neither player has gone over the line yet.
Yeah, that's true. They both are.
Victorious.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Jacob's gone to some creative shots here to get back into this game. A couple of overs. A great block. I'd go back to that right wall under. Austin's so far out. He came back fast.
Yeah.
Jacob did go for the under. But I think problem was the timing of the under. Needed to happen as Austin is sort of rocking forward. So he's kind of frozen out in position in the middle of the table. Goes for the cut. I don't think I've seen the cross hit once so far. I could have missed it, but Jacob's gone for a few crosses that just gone right into Austin's mallet. Austin going for that fast cut. Austin takes a timeout. It's probably a smart play. Jacob's come back. He's forced this to be a more competitive game than it looked like in the beginning. A great block by Jacob. Just hold position.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nice.
Iron it up.
Yeah.
Oh, and he answers back.
Yeah, it was a great left wall under. Jacob looked like he was going for that cross once again.
Oh, that was always terrifying me.
I'd go to that left wall under again. Oh, he goes for the cross. He got the cross in.
Beautiful.
Amazing. So that's going to be hard emotionally for Austin because he fired himself up on that game and really gave it all he had, and Jacob was still able to hold on, come back, and take it.
All right. This has been a great match so far. We're at 3-0. Is that what we're saying that?
Yeah, I believe 3-0.
Yeah,
I believe we're 3-0, Jacob. I'd say very powerful play from both of them so far. It was a little shaky in the beginning, I think, for Jacob. He was doing setups that were setups that he used to do maybe a couple years ago before he had progressed his game to what it became at the Worlds. But then now it looks like he sort of found that again.
So I'm sure, you know, through your history, you've been down maybe 3-0 in a set.
Oh, yeah.
What's kind of your go-to? Like, what do you think mentally to kind of get yourself back into it?
That's a great question. I think that you got to start off by asking yourself the question, have I ever come back? Have I ever seen anybody come back? And if the answer is yes, which it absolutely is,
Right.
yes, you then say, well, if I have come back in the past, then it could happen again. So I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to fight till the very end.
Yeah.
And see what happens. And I think that's one of the things that separates the real champions in sports in general, not just in air hockey, right? In sports, it's this willingness to fight,
Yeah.
even when it seems like all is lost.
Those are also the best sports movies too, you know?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, I think we're heading back over to the game. Heading to game 4. Will this be a sweep?
You notice Jacob is wearing a centerline hat. Shout out, centerline.
Yeah. Oh, and then you got Austin wearing Air Hockey United. This is crazy.
Yeah, we're streaming on both of those channels today. Jacob went for the over, but Austin was right there for it. Austin with his reverse circle drift, little circling around the puck. That shot there, his bread and butter right wall under from that setup is really one of his greatest strengths.
Oh,
Nice.
That
Got
was-
Jacob to flinch and then just pounded the cut in.
yeah, beautiful.
I think Jacob may have taken a timeout on that. A good timeout.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you asked the question about what do you do when you're down 3-0. Well, I think Austin is definitely doing what you should be trying to do,
Yeah.
right? It's coming out and strong, being confident, not thinking that it's all over.
Right.
And I think that's
And he's
something.
trying some new stuff too. Like he was not doing pump fakes as much as he is this game.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think Austin, that was probably one of the things that he struggled with earlier in his air hockey, career.
Yeah.
When he was younger, was getting overly frustrated and angry and maybe just giving up. But it looks like that he's really grown a lot in that
Wow.
respect. Nice transition from
Yeah.
Jacob.
So the answer's back.
Oh, that made me flinch. What Austin was doing there. Excellent.
It always makes you wonder, did they think to start doing those pump fakes themselves? Do you think someone may have said that to him? I don't.
Oh, I have no idea
I
if
know.
he's getting any tips or coaching, but I mean, it was definitely a smart idea and a good get by Jacob.
It was.
A lot of players would have hit that puck again and it would have just flown off. They would have lost possession.
I would have probably flung that across the room. Wow.
Another left wall over. This is like, did Jacob add that to his repertoire in the last? Crazy.
He looks motivated. That clean surface always makes probably the biggest difference, especially if you go somewhere with a table in like a public setting.
Yep.
Smart move to clean it off in this big game.
Yeah, I think Austin is better when he gets to.
Wow.
This is what I was going to say. Is better when he slows down and does setups.
Yeah. And
His shots are so powerful and fast that just put it where you need it to be and execute the shot.
And Jacob like his brain moves faster than most. If you try to get up with him on speed, he's usually gonna be able to answer back pretty
Yeah,
easily.
he's a good transition player. He certainly is.
Wow. Forehand.
Yeah. Yeah, that type of setup which she just did is one that is not is very telegraphed.
Yeah.
Good block. And Jacob's defense is just so powerful sometimes. That he went for, I think he went for the over again.
Yeah. I think
Didn't hit it.
he's like, it worked in the past, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. You need to get back to that setup.
But that's a little bit better. And he's just barely missing that cross. I think he's committed to trying to get those overs in and the cross. Be interesting to see if he can get a right wall under in. No, he went for it. Just
Yeah.
the cadence wasn't right. Nice block. That was a better cadence. That was just a really good block by Austin.
Such a hard shot.
Yeah.
Like I would definitely would have thought that came off the table.
Yeah. Oh, he made Jacob flinch, and the cut was open,
I
but he
flinched.
just missed it. Yeah. Oh, he tried again. Jacob didn't flinch that time. I think Jacob is going to maybe go for that left wall under again. Oh, or the over. Sure, why not the over?
Whoa.
Nice cross. Oh, and he got the overs.
And a 5 apiece. 2 point. Oh, that's frustrating.
Austin lost the puck there, just got frustrated. Jacob went for another over and finally goes for the cut.
He's got one more point.
There needs to be conduct warning. You can't really. There are
Yeah, those
distracted.
emotions get in
There are rules
Yeah.
in air hockey regarding excessive noise, cursing, that type of stuff. I mean, it's pretty relaxed to an
Yeah.
extent, but there is a line. I think I think that crosses the line, and I understand there's a lot of motion. I get it.
Actually,
You
I
know?
think it was delivered to conduct.
Did he?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, it's a beautiful shot. I mean, just if Austin can just stay in that mindset and not get so worked up. Amazing block by Jacob. So what does Jacob try
See it
here?
over here, though. I see it here.
I wonder what he tries.
I know. He's been hitting those left ball over. I think he's gonna go for it. Oh,
He went for the under that time. He just rushed it slightly.
Oh,
Yeah, and he went for the cut. Jacob was really into it.
so you see on this instant replay, you'll be able to see this left ball.
Oh,
2 seconds.
all right, we'll get that worked out.
Yeah. I don't know who this camera guy is. It's crazy.
So that match is over. While we wait for the next match, we can.
Right. They're setting up that next match.
Okay. So here's what my thought is.
Oh,
Since
our visual sort of sucks because of just the way it looks. I think what we would be good is, other than the bird's eye, we got the bird's eye, which is great. I think what we do is we go in and we do a headshot type for each side, and that's what we switch to. That's what I would think, because when we show this, it just makes it look kind of junky. You know, we got wires all over the floor, you know, that kind of thing. That's one thought I had. The other thought is The other thing is, how do we know how to play like a little thing while we're waiting? No. Let's find out. Okay. We'll do that for now.
Yeah, we need to figure out how to get your files in.
Yeah.
It's another media source. You add it as another source.
Okay.
The video player.
Ask.
Go back to the chart.
Let's get Jacob over here. Get Jacob over here, and we'll do a quick interview with him. He can sit down there.
On the. I don't know how to get to the broadcast.
How do we get?
You're in. What just happened?
Were setups you had done maybe a year or two or so ago, and then a little bit later you started finding that flow that you had used at Worlds with a certain, having the wrist cocked back ready. What was going through your mind?
So, going into the match, I'm not as sharp as I'd like to be right now, and so I knew that those setups from a year or two ago I would be able to execute well. And I thought that would probably be all I needed to beat Austin. And so I just started with that, and then you came up to me and made a comment about pulling my wrist back.
Yeah.
And I think then I started to really feel the flow and the intensity of the match, and then I don't know, I guess the unconscious took over.
Right. Yeah. Well, we were talking about Austin. I mean, Austin's a different player than he was a year or two ago, and I mean that in a very good way. He's grown so much in terms of his skill on the table, the shots that he's executing, but also, even though we did hear him have an outburst, he still kind of pulls himself together and has a level of mental toughness that he didn't used to have.
Right. Yeah.
So, do you feel that? Like what was it like going up against?
I don't know, to be honest. He definitely has some sharper shots for sure than he did a couple years ago. And I knew that, this last Worlds, he had just a phenomenal performance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that made me, after just losing challenge match to Chris Gibson, right, and now I kind of early in the tournament playing the other up and coming young
guy,
buck, right? Yeah, I was definitely, that was in my mind a lot, worried about that, right?
Yeah.
And I think the thing that's improved most, in my opinion, for Austin is his defense. It was harder for me to score on him than it was a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
From my perspective, just as an outside observer, not being in that match, I was saying that if he were to eliminate some of the unforced errors.
Right.
He wins a couple games for sure, probably might win the match, but he would get some just glaringly powerful, hard shots in, but then flub one or two.
Yeah.
And that I maybe that's nerves. I don't know.
Yeah. And he was hitting it off the table more than me too, I think. And
Yeah.
looking at his mallet, I think he plays with a harder mallet.
Oh, really?
So,
I didn't realize.
So that might be part of the reason why.
Wow,
too.
he didn't need to. I mean, he's a super
Yeah.
powerful
Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got that one. Who are you going to be up against next?
I have no, actually I do. Vince, I think I don't know if Vince has played
Okay.
his match yet, but
Okay.
if he wins,
Then Vince
Then I'll be
Dalceda,
playing
who
him.
is the player from San
Yeah.
Antonio.
and this will be the. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, letting folks know who he is.
Yeah.
San Antonio. He's a perennial contender, although he has not won the Worlds. He has won a number of state championship tournaments.
Yeah, I think he's won 3 majors and the 3 USAA finals, I think.
Right. Okay.
And we haven't played since 2021.
Wow.
Me and Vince, yeah. And we've kind of joked about it back and forth, right? He won a couple of majors and never played me.
Right.
I've gotten into the finals in the Worlds the last couple of years and haven't played him. And
Right.
So kind of.
Right. So
yeah.
where are you guys at? All
Yeah,
right. Well,
yeah.
that'll be a great match to watch.
Yeah.
We'll be looking forward to it. Congratulations on a
you.
tough fought win. Even though it was 4-0, it seemed a lot closer than that. I know there were a couple 7-6 games.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. See you on the next one.
You want to watch this?
Sure.
That's King.
We've got a match here. We kind of panned over. We got Brian Acrocco versus Sarah Weissman. That's actually Jacob's sister. Nice cross by Brian. Sarah lets the puck settle. Sarah is the female world champ. In charge of this unfortunate I think that's usually it looks like a charge of frustration. That is what that one looked like. Nice left wall under by Sarah. I think Sarah's one of the things that she's done great in the last year is she's increased the power on her shots. And she charged again, got lucky. Nice left wall over. Not sure if she was going for an under there because it was a power shot. Usually overs are going to be a little bit different speed. The unders are usually the much faster shots. Sarah went for the under again. We're 2 games each here. This is 2 games each. Four to 3, 2 games each. 4-3, Brian Acrocco. Sarah went for the right wall under. She went for the left wall over, I think. Just rushed it. I think Sarah's a little better when she doesn't rush her shots. Brian with, his another charge by Sarah. Brian gets possession. Nice cross straight by Brian. Powerful. And good get by Sarah. Oh, transition shot, but she gets it. 5-4. Rush on Sarah's part. Brian barely misses the cut. 5-5. Brian going with his, his cross straight's probably his best shot, and when he's in a tough spot, he goes for it. A good get by Sarah. She lunged out, redirected the puck, got it back. Point either way. There's really hitting power shots. And Brian misses the cross, barely. See if Sarah rushes her shot here. Ooh. She needs to decide. Ooh.
I know that's frustrating.
It's frustrating, but she's still in it. 3-2. She's still in. Now we're gonna head over to the feature match table. We've got a match between Connor Cummings and Vince Saceda. Jacob Weissman and I were talking about Vince just a moment ago, and Connor is the younger brother of world champ Colin Cummings. Should be an excellent match. A very unique clash of styles. Vince Saceda is got a very methodical, slow setup, but powerful shots off of that slow setup. And Connor's much more of a fast setup type player, moving the puck around really quickly before he actually hits it.
Wow.
1-1, right wall under by Connor. And notice Vince puts the puck there and just sets it up very methodically. And the thing about Vince is that one thing he understands, I'd say better than almost any air hockey player, is angles. He gets intuitively where the lane to the goal is based on the position on the puck and the opponent's defense. Those angles shift, and our hands and our wrists are only able to execute certain angles when we pull our wrist back. So you have to have the puck in a good position on the table to take advantage of that. And so he does a great job of drifting, putting it in the position he needs it to be in, and then hitting that lane to the goal.
You know, one thing I'm interested in with this match. So Connor's been going through a little bit of injuries, right? Like played left-handed for months because of his right shoulder, and I think this is his first tournament. He's played fully right-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's got a tough opponent to put his shoulder up to the test.
Absolutely. And Vince is one of the toughest.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
You know, if
His
Connor
defense alone.
can win, or even just make it very competitive,
Yeah.
that will say, yeah, I'm back, you know, from the injury.
Yeah.
And this is Vince with his slow. That was unusual. Connor could have gotten that.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe he's feeling a little jitters, or maybe his shoulder isn't warmed up. That's a nice block. Yeah, Connor doesn't look like he's warmed up. And another thing to keep in mind is that Connor's done a lot of work on this event.
True.
And it's difficult to organize an event and also compete in it. It really is. So he may need a game or two to get warmed up.
I think he even had to call his own match.
Yeah.
Vince is also our only out-of-city person here. A little bit of a grudge on everyone else here, right? Like, we can't let someone from San Antonio get us from a Houston Open.
Yep.
Yeah, what's in San Antonio?
Well, the Houston City Championship has a long history. We've been holding this event since the late 70s or the early 80s.
Really?
Yeah. Of course, it hasn't happened every year. There have been some lean years for air hockey, but we have been having sort of a resurgence in the sport, in interest, primarily because of people getting exposure to it online.
Yeah.
People that just never knew that air hockey was played competitively and wish they would have known.
Yeah.
But there's still time, folks. You can still get involved. You can still get great at air hockey. We have a lot of tutorials on the center line. Also have a lot of matches, full matches with commentary, which you can learn from.
Yeah, social media is absolutely blown up with air hockey. I think something I have not seen before, right? Like,
Yeah,
it seems
it's
like
always on
within-
my timeline. But, of
Yeah.
course, I'm interested in it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like within a month, millions and millions of views were happening, like, out of nowhere.
Right,
It was
right.
extremely impressive. Seems like Connor's starting to get a little bit more of a rhythm.
Yes, I noticed that. Yep, just a little bit more. He might need to shave. That's a possibility. And Sarah and Brian Acrocco finished. It was 4-2. Brian, tough match. Sarah really showed out.
4-2.
Vince gets game one pretty handily. Connor's going to need to up his intensity a couple of levels if he wants to compete with Vince. Vince is a fierce competitor.
Yeah.
He actually, folks don't know that he was world champ in another kind of niche activity, was laser tag many years
What?
ago. Yes.
I did not know this.
Yes. Him and a number of his friends that actually ended up playing air hockey too.
Wow.
I think, don't quote me, I could be wrong, and I'm sure that you guys, if I say it and it's wrong, I think Marcos Quintanilla was part of that, but
Really?
I could be wrong.
So there is a little bit of a San Antonio fan or player base, right? Like a few of them, and it seems like they're few, but they're mighty.
Oh, I love it. So these gentlemen are facing off every game. You have that option if both players want to do it. Vince won the face-off there.
Wow.
Nice transition by Connor. Wow. The lefty cross. That's hard to deal with. That's another thing we didn't mention, but you may have recognized, is that Vince Saceda is a left-handed player, which creates certain unique issues for his opponents
Right.
because most people are used to playing right-handed players. You have a right-handed player has a natural strength on defense, and left-handed player has a natural strength on defense. It's not a guarantee that you're going to be able to block the shots that are not as good against your specific hand,
Right.
but it is an advantage. So for a left-handed player, the right-handed cross straight and right
Wow.
wall under, excuse me, is a weakness for the left-hander. Excuse me.
I feel like I've watched Connor play so much over the last year. I can almost like imagine what he's about to do. It's crazy.
It's a great left wall under by Vince.
And you know, Connor's got a great mentor of his own. You know, he's got two. One being, you know, a pretty
Yeah.
big deal. You know?
Oh yeah, for sure. You learn a hell of a lot from somebody that's won a heck of a lot.
Yeah.
There are little things that Colin understands intuitively that not everybody will just understand on their own, but they can be taught.
Right.
And if he teaches those things to Connor, that will benefit him immensely.
There was a month where every weekend Connor would travel up to San Antonio, where Colin was living at the time, spend 2 days straight of just practicing and learning something new. He'd come back to Houston and show me it. Like, I think that's where his right wall over from left to center like really started to come to life during that month.
Interesting.
Wow. Speaking
Nice.
of
Yeah,
right wall over,
yeah. Well done. Oh, that was a nice little stutter pump fake by Vince, and then
Wow.
just I mean, that's what I'm talking about with the angle.
I think I'm a little behind him.
Nice block by Connor. Connor just sort of hit it right into the middle of the goal.
Hey, it's not speaking to it. It's not speaking to it now.
What?
It's not speaking to it. Point. Try now?
Number 18.
No?
18.
Hit reset all?
All right, going back to our face-off.
Hit my scoreboard. It's working. You gotta fix the scores.
Wow. Watch that again, shall we? Open it up. It's a beautiful cross. Lefties with crosses is a dangerous thing. Wow. That is just amazing shots. It's just blown right. This is a place where you call a timeout. He took the second to pause, but I think we need to call a timeout and regather ourselves. He was 3 straight points unanswered. Wow. Oh, he's so deceptive when he shoots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you put your hand in what I would call the execute position, which is sort of a cock position, and then you put the puck in a position on the table such that there's an open lane to the goal, the very split second that puck gets struck and ejects, as long as you're able to hit it powerful from that spot, there's not much a person can do because they can't predict the moment it's going to be hit.
Yeah.
But you have to have that lane, and he understands the angle. He understands where it needs to go to get behind the mallet. A lot of players don't get that. But Vince is one of the best ever in that sense.
Yeah.
There are, some other players that have had a history of sort of a slow setup style. It originated in Philadelphia in the late 70s with a past champion named Jesse Dowdy.
Wow.
You can probably see some footage of him online.
Table number 2.
That was weird because Connor charged and it was a cross. So he sort of charged far left. Weird. I mean, if he would just pushed forward just in the center,
Yeah.
it wouldn't, it wouldn't have, it would have blocked it. So it was weird. It was kind of like he pitched over to the left.
So what is your take on charges?
So
I bet we have very different takes, but I think it'd be hilarious.
What I teach is that a charge is something that should be rare and unexpected. I think that it's a mistake to be charging frequently because a good player with a good offense is going to make you pay.
True.
And so I think it's a bad habit. I think a lot of players have fallen into that, and I think that it's an emotional play. Because if you think about it, what's the best feeling in air hockey? It's stuffing your opponent.
Especially when
right?
it's straight back in their goal.
Right. It's just to stuff it right back in. It feels so good, and you just love that feeling. So then you start charging, chasing that feeling. But I believe if you were like, for you, I haven't like really watched your game to really, but let's say you were wanting to analyze your game. I would say, okay, look at 2 or 3 sets and then count literally what is the result after every single one of your charges. Was it a positive result, you got the puck or you scored, or was it a negative result, you lost possession? And just see.
Yeah.
And my bet, it's so far in one direction that you'll be like, I should never charge.
True.
But there is certainly a use for charging in air hockey. That's my take.
No, I think it's a good take. I think back to watching Munoz and Anthony Marino play. It was almost like he was like pump faking a charge, and I think that can play a little bit of a mental game.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I agree with you. I think that that Anthony Marino does use charges to a different level.
Yeah.
Like he will make you think he's going to charge.
I don't think, yeah. And I think he's one of those people that's like, it's almost like a disciplined charge. Like there's
Yeah.
not a whole lot of emotion with it.
Right.
He almost does it logically.
Yeah. It's a good get by Connor.
Yeah.
Connor's got really fast reflexes.
He does. One thing he likes to teach a lot of people is a lot of times when let's say, I don't know, the opposite opponent hits an off goal, coming back to their side, instead of hitting the puck, trying to like create a transition, he tries to get in front of it and stop it. That way he
Right.
can like maintain, set
Right.
it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
great
Well, I mean,
advice.
it's just like look what Vince did. That yeah. I mean, that's what the top players will do is that they're intuitively knowing where the puck is going to be in 20 milliseconds.
Right.
So they're moving their mallet ahead of it to try to grab it.
Wow. We're at match point 5. We only got one more, unless Connor can answer.
Oh,
Okay.
he does. Nice.
Wow.
Now don't charge.
I know.
is what I would say to him.
Don't do it.
Stop charging.
You say, that was like a pump fake kind of thing. That was good. Oh, good
Goes for
setup.
Yeah. Oh, he went for the cut again. Just Vince was ready for it.
Yeah, it's a
And
hard
Vince with that
person to-
cross, man.
Can't
that
give Vince
cross
too many
really got him.
opportunities.
That really got him in that match.
Yeah, it did. Wow.
All right. Well, Vince moves on. Connor's going to be in the losers bracket. I'm not sure who he's playing. I think we can look at the chart, can't we?
Yeah, we gotta click on
Here we
show
go.
bracket. Here we are. We've made it pretty far away through this tournament. There's been a few upsets.
Yeah. Well, the big upset was Anthony Marino taking out Jacob Munoz. On this chart, Jacob Weissman should move forward, and Vince Salcedo would move forward. So we've got a match between Anthony Marino and Chris Gibson at the top of the bracket, and then Jacob and Vince at the bottom of the bracket.
I gotta hear these. I gotta hear who your money's on. Let's see. If we're looking at that Anthony versus Chris, who are you looking at?
Wow, I've never seen them play each other, so it's difficult to say.
I haven't either.
What are you thinking?
So much of me is like, whoa, well, Anthony did just beat Munoz, but I also think like Munoz does struggle against lefties. Chris, I don't know how often he does play like a lefty player, So it's really going to depend on his experience because playing a lefty, you mentioned earlier, it's a different ball game.
Yeah.
And then it brings us to our other match of Vince versus Jacob Weissman. I'm sure you have a favorite.
Well, I'm rooting for Jacob, of
Yeah.
course. They have a really interesting history. They've gone back and forth.
Really?
And so to be able to pick one of them would be, maybe a coin flip. And not only that, most of their matches have gone, all the way down to the wire. So
we're going to go to table 2. So not necessarily our number 1 premier table, but definitely is a match that's worth watching. You have Jacob Munoz on the left side. You have Mike Cummings on the right. Oh, with the Viper unleashing that right wall.
Yeah, 2-1 Jacob Munoz. Munoz looking to have a romp through the losers bracket.
So, do you want to explain that? So, usually the person
Sure.
who takes that shot, the puck is going to go to the opposite person, but it went to Munoz. Why is that?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
I think it's more of whenever someone charges and that puck flies off. Like, who
Okay. So when the puck flies off the table, basically the referee is supposed to determine who made the last offensive strike on the puck, and whoever that was does not get possession. They're sort of at fault for making it go off. If you were moving defensively, like blocking, then
Yeah.
you would get possession if it flew off.
And I bet those offensive-minded people who like to think, oh, I'm gonna get that emotion of that charge. I think that's where,
Right.
you know,
Yeah. Well, and they're hitting the puck off a lot for sure.
that's a good get.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Nice right wall under by Mike.
I think we're sitting at 5-2 or 3, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, Mike almost got that forehand cut. Oh, I think that.
I thought it was
Wait a
his
second.
hand.
Didn't that touch his hand?
I know.
How did it stop like that?
And I felt like I heard the squeak of his
Yeah,
hand
how did-
going against the table.
That was bizarre.
Maybe it's just a camera angle. I don't know.
Yeah. So Mike's holding his defensive stance. Well, I was going to say he's leaning over and likely to get hit by a bank, and then that happens. So I think that Mike might want to settle in a little bit more as opposed to hunch forward. I mean, I get that he's trying to be ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To like lunge out and grab pucks. I totally understand that. But I think that his torso might be a little too far over. But nice shot by Mike. It's a nice cut.
Table number 1, Austin versus Noah.
I'd like to see Mike do more of those forehands. He actually has
True.
a good forehand. And
He does.
I think he should feature it more, like actually develop an attack around it.
I agree. He's also pretty well known for his right rollovers. He's
Yeah.
pretty
I
consistent
think
with
that's
that,
his top shot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. The forehand, it's almost like an art whenever someone can get it at like a top level.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. And Munoz, he also has some really great overs, which he hit one there. Oh, went for the Viper. There was a forehand by Munoz.
Wow.
And Munoz's shots are all wrist.
That- Pretty deep.
And another. I think Mike Cummings lost a close match just earlier.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna head over to table 1, where we've got. This is an interesting
This is a
matchup.
very interesting matchup. You see Austin holding his right wrist a little bit. His
So the matchup here is Noah Weissman versus Austin Fernandez. So not only is it interesting because Noah's older brother Jacob just beat Austin in a tough battle, but Noah played a challenge match against Austin 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago. I don't know. And Austin beat him 16-1,
Really?
16-3, something. It was a bad,
Wow.
it was real dominating,
Yeah.
and it was a blow to Noah's confidence.
Wow.
As he's been trying to improve.
one thing to take into consideration for this match. So right before this match, Austin's holding his right wrist.
Okay.
From what I heard is this past week he fell on it while he was at work because he works in like a warehouse.
Yeah.
And he was almost not even able to play this weekend. So I heard him talking about it later in the day. Now he's holding it. I'm wondering if it might impact him during this matchup.
Yeah, maybe. He didn't seem like it affected him against Jacob.
Yeah, I agree. Wow. Beautiful shot. Great opening.
Mm-hmm. Noah's been working on his game a lot lately. Nice cut by Austin. I think Noah's got to find. Yeah, I was about to say he's got to find that right wall under.
Then it starts to open up other shots as well.
Right. Yeah, because Austin is really good at blocking that straight shot. You see if Noah can get a cross in on him. Seems like Austin really blocks the cut.
It's always interesting watching different styles play against each other as well, you know? Like, there's always a preference of how they play. There's always a preference of how people watch. Kind of reminds me of social media with some of those comments that we were getting as well, right? Where there's like, oh, I like to watch whenever it's like super fast-paced air hockey.
Sure.
You know?
Well, yeah, and I think it's because people see air hockey, that play it casually in an arcade or a bar or someplace. They don't see people stopping the puck, getting control of it, and setting it up. And so they think that it's supposed to be played just hit. And I think that the sport of air hockey has found a nice balance, which is you have 7 seconds to have possession. If you go longer than that, you get called on a foul. So you can't just hold it forever, but you also have a chance to set something up.
There you kind of saw him grabbing at that right wrist.
Mm-hmm. It was nice. So that looked like it was going to be a cut, and Noah did not rush the release. It was a nice block. He's getting them on that right wall under. I'm pretty sure somebody mentioned that. Was that me? Oh, that was me. That was me. Yeah, there he is. He's holding his wrist again. Oh, you can't see it now, but when he does again, I'll show you. It was interesting. He went for the right wall under again. I think going for it even again is probably warranted. But he has to look like the cut. Or maybe throw in a left wall under. So Noah was up earlier today on Anthony Marino. Anthony Marino beat Jacob Munoz, right? The number 2 ranked player in the world.
I think I saw that over too. I was wondering if they're going to call that.
And so Noah was up, I think 3-1, maybe 3-2 against Anthony Marino.
Yeah.
But then you could kind of tell that he started thinking about what he was doing, and he was like suddenly realized, wait a second, I could win this game, this match, which he wouldn't on paper be the expected winner. It would have been an upset, but. That was sort of a rush setup and release for Noah. And
wow.
Great forehand. Yeah.
You can hear the crowd roaring.
That was just in the center of the goal. Good block.
So there's been a lot of talk recently about air hockey and the future of air hockey. So, I think in that future, one thing we've been talking about is like the entertainment side, right? Like the crowd side. Are there any crowds like from, I guess when you were playing and some that like really stood out to you?
The very first time I won
really?
was 1989. and it was a massive crowd. This was back during the heyday of arcades, and there were lots of people playing air hockey all over the country and in the world. And so yeah, that was it was great.
Wow.
And I thought we had a great crowd at this last Worlds.
We did.
It was really good.
Think we might be able to see the fearless Tim Wiseman give some advice to Noah. Wonder if he wants to hear it or not. So with I think it was a recent rule change, right? With the face-off that you have the option to do every.
Yeah, both players. If both players agree, you can face off every game for the match. Most people don't do it because they don't necessarily not very confident in in the face off.
As a player, what do you prefer?
I would want to face off every
I agree.
game.
I think that is something that I typically just being taller can help out a little bit with the faster reflexes, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I know Jacob Wiseman, someone that tries to elect typically every game. Right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's someone that's probably the most known for having that quick reaction.
Yeah. Well, face-offs were not originally part of the beginning of matches. We changed that back probably the mid 90s, and some of us younger players wanted to make face-offs a big part of the game. We wanted to add more skill to the game, and up until that time, the only time there was a face-off was when a ref could not decide what possession to award, so they would just face it off. But we liked starting a game that way because before then it was you would flip a coin to decide puck or side. If you won the coin toss, you could either choose which side you want to start on, or you could choose to begin with the puck, which you're almost always going to take the puck.
Unless you're Mark Wahi.
Yeah.
Then you might take the side.
And so we wanted skill. We didn't want it just be chance who gets the original the puck. So we changed that, and then recently there was a change so that if players want to, they could face off every game, which would be great.
One thing else with face-offs that came out recently was kind of like something to bring the crowd into it, right? Like we saw it at the last Worlds, where it's almost kind of like a chant as they're about to hit the puck to start the match.
Yeah. That was fun. That was a great left wall under by Noah, and it was smart to throw in something different.
Wow.
Yeah, Austin has really learned that shot well. So that is used to be like sort of the nickname for that shot was my bread and butter. That forehand at the beginning of the drift, and then Brian Acrocco started using that shot, and then I believe he then taught it to Austin.
Yeah, I know he's been a mentor of his.
Yes, absolutely, and it's such a great shot to do at the very beginning of a right to center drift. That was a nice block by Austin.
Yeah, I like the wind up.
Yeah,
definitely makes you like hesitate and like, oh, he's coming.
Yeah, almost.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said, I was saying earlier when we were watching Austin play Jacob, that the way he sets up and executes that right wall under is one of his best shots. Good defense. Wow.
I like watching Noah. One reason why is it's kind of weird. It's unique. Is how often he shifts his feet around when he plays.
Yeah.
Like whether it's on defense or like now his feet are out further apart. He usually has that leg kick.
No, that was a sort of telegraph. He was already turning that direction before he even drifted the puck.
And if you're just joining us, we're at our Houston City Open. We are going down the bracket to find out who's going to be the best in Houston. We're yesterday we had our beginner tournament. Today we have day one of the more advanced like pro tournament.
And Austin went for the right wall over, barely missed it. Went for the cross, gets blocked. Oh, the under was open. He just didn't go for it.
Austin likes to do a lot of like surprise kind of like top shot.
Yep,
you know?
yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's hard to block.
Oh yeah.
Whole
Oh, yeah.
body just goes with that shot. The rhythm and the setup is just beautiful.
Number 2 is the last match of the tournament tonight, unless you're playing your spin-off. This is the last match of the day tournament.
It was a good get. But Noah just he defended and then went out and grabbed the puck.
Yeah.
I think he missed the cut there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nice. It was just a good block by Austin. All right, so 2-0 Austin. Let's see.
Some advice from the older brother.
That's right. He's getting a little advice from Jacob. So, if you are joining us, and this is maybe the first time you've seen professional level air hockey, welcome. We've got a lot of videos for you to explore on the center line, and I think they're also going to be starting to host some things, more things, reels and things on Air Hockey United. You can also see us on Instagram.
I think Instagram's really taking off, huh?
Yeah, we're let's see, pull it up.
Yeah. I want to see how many followers we're at now. I see you got that check mark, I think.
Let's see. Yeah. So we've got just over 60,000
Wow.
followers on Instagram.
Wow.
And on YouTube. Let's see. YouTube, we've got 64,000 subscribers. So we appreciate the support. Please share the content. Show more people what professional air hockey looks like. It's small. We know we're a small community. It's sort of a niche activity, but if you stick around a little while and watch some of the intense action, you may realize there's a lot more to it than you thought. Why does that camera keep moving? It's the camera that's on us is it auto tracks, yeah, and we're not sure how to get it to not. Here we are back at this match for 2-0 Austin against Noah Weissman.
Ooh, yep.
Yeah,
I saw
thought-
that too.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was gonna say I thought that touched his shirt, but
I think he actually might have gone over. I think that might have been the call.
oh, maybe.
Maybe it was a double violation. He's trying to introduce those pump fakes again.
Yeah.
So let's say you're up 2-0, right? And you're up 2-0 in a set. And do you start to change your offense at all? You know, like maybe opening up like a secondary to your primary offense?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. What I would say is that if you have an offense that's working, you stick with it, but you do make a few subtle changes, and you want to throw in a shot or two that is not part of it that will keep what I would say keep it fresh.
Ah,
But I want my opponent to force me to change my offense, because as soon as they do, that just opens up another side.
true.
So you got to keep that in mind, is that, go to the well, keep going to the well. And then when they finally key in, now that just means that the other side of the goal is open for business. So I think Noah, it seems like he's making the intention to sort of be loose and not rigid, and sort of kind of like, I guess settle more and not be as active on defense, which is interesting, and I think is probably a good move for him on
Yeah,
defense.
I agree.
But I think on offense, he needs to pick up the pace.
I agree.
That was about the right pace, I think. The drift needs to be sort of that speed, medium speed. He can't be going slow against Austin. I think he's got to go just a little more upbeat.
So watching Austin, it looks like he's almost like sitting on that cut of Noah's. Like
Oh,
if you
yeah.
watch, he's sitting like a little bit
Yeah.
right of center.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're on offense and you notice your defender is doing that, what kind of do you change where you're hitting the puck? Do you change your shot selection? Or are you just like, all right,
Yeah.
sit on, I'll make it
No,
anyway?
yeah. I mean, right now, like if I'm playing Austin and he's sitting on the cut like that, that just means that I'm going to try to pound in right wall unders, and you have to just find the cadence and the moment for the release to make it work. Because if a person is out that far from their goal, if you hit a shot and they can't predict ahead of time that it's coming to that side that they need to pull to,
Yeah.
it's too fast for them to get back. They have to read it ahead of time. So
Beautiful cross.
yeah, it was.
And get. Wow.
Yeah.
Austin's playing well.
Yeah, no, yeah, it absolutely is. And the good news for Noah, I guess, is that Noah is not he's not folding, and he's fighting.
That's true.
And that's what's important.
I agree. And how old is Noah? Like,
Noah's 18.
my gosh. He's taking over the world.
And Noah's going to have to key in to that right wall under. Can't keep letting that one go in.
How old were you when you first started playing air hockey?
I was 13.
Wow.
1983. Long time ago. And then I won my first Worlds when I was 18.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Noah looks like he's thinking a lot rather than playing. Looks like he's getting maybe some of those comments from his big brother.
Yeah, I think he's saying, like, we just got to get into the rhythm of the game, right?
Get in the rhythm of the game, man. Be in the battle. Don't think about what you're trying to do. Just do. And it's easy to say.
Yeah,
it's hard to do in the moment. And I'm sure, Noah came into this tournament with high hopes. He had been playing a lot. He won a challenge match against Mike Cummings, and he was really happy about, doing that. So his confidence was there, and it looks like it's shaken a little bit right now. but it's not, it's not over. And this is his big sister coming over to give
Oh,
us some
family.
advice. Yeah,
Where's William.
yeah.
So when you're playing, are you someone that likes to receive advice, or are you more of like, no, I just need to figure it out?
Oh, I'm cool to receive advice. In fact, I frequently seek out advice because the way I look at it is that I'm in the midst of the action. I don't see from the outside what's going on, and so I'm always willing to hear what thoughts, my friends would have for me. Yeah, I never. I know there are people that are like, don't tell me, don't you think, like, why are you listening to that guy? He's not as good as you, or that kind of stuff. But I was never that way. I always just thought, well, if somebody sees something that I'm not seeing, then great, I'll take the info.
Obviously valid enough to bring it up to you, right?
Right.
Do you remember like any piece of advice that just kind of stuck out to you?
Oh gosh. Through the years, I mean, so much, but I think the biggest piece of advice goes back to what we were talking about much earlier when we were talking about if you're up 6-2 or 6-3, and it's just the advice that you never give up. You never give in until it's too late, until that last puck, that last point is in, because you never know what's going to happen. And so I'm just not. I'm never gonna, and hopefully my kids won't as well.
I think the best advice I ever got was actually this past Worlds when we're playing doubles and we're in the finals with Jacob and Avery, and someone was watching like outside perspective, and I was naturally drifting more on defense to the right side to try to like predict shots, and they said you need to move over like 2 more inches back to the center. Once I did that, it started to help out defense a little bit more, and the outside perspective is always very helpful.
Absolutely. So Austin got a double bank on Noah, which is, a very, very rare shot, but it can be deceptive. It can be deceptive because if you're worried about, like for Noah, he's a little concerned about that right wall under getting pounded in on him. So then it sort of opens up a double bank in a sense.
Yeah.
I like how Noah began the game, though. I like the assertiveness. Just hit hard, powerful shots. If you lose, you lose, but don't give up.
Yep.
Don't let. And see, he blocked one of Austin's best shots there.
Seems like he's doing a little bit more delays. Great get.
Yeah. Austin that's one of his strengths. It's just grabbing pucks that are loose or redirecting them. It was a nice pump fake. Got Noah jittery, but then Austin hit it off the table. Noah's shots aren't accurate enough at the moment. And that's something actually that I know that he's been working on talking about. That was a great get by Noah. You got to have accuracy. If you don't have it, then you could know the right shots, but it's not going to go in because you can't hit the spot.
How would you normally recommend someone? They're trying to work on accuracy.
Yeah, so go to the center line. We've got tutorials, and I have one tutorial in our how to get great at air hockey section. It's a playlist, and it is called Puck Control, and there are a number of drills in there. Maybe we'll show them here, perhaps. But the drills are an excellent way to develop your puck control. And if you think about it, you must have puck control. Puck control is what starts everything.
I agree.
And that was great. That was an excellent shot by Noah. Good. Yeah, good.
Seems like Austin's trying to slow it down.
Good block by Noah. He just is. I think his nerves have gotten to him a little bit there.
6'4" is another one of those places that's, you know, not fun place to be in for either person.
Yeah. I think Noah's, his defense, I think, in that match got too slow. I know he's working on not rocking, overly rocking, and not continuing to rock after the other player has started their setup. But it looked like he got a little too still. So there's sort of a fine line there he's going to have to work on. This is the secondary feature table. We got Connor Cummings versus one of the Gibsons.
Yep. We got Tyler sitting at 1 point against Connor at 1. Now it's 2-1. It's like, Tyler had a upset earlier as well. It was Tyler and Syed, and Tyler won that match as well. Also a lefty.
Nice.
I think she called it. That was the last one.
Did we find out how to play a video?
That could be a way to kind of end.
We can show the chart and play that music.
Yeah. Good block by Tyler.
Yeah.
Another good block by Tyler. It's interesting. He did sort of a little hand fake right before hitting the cross.
That puck seems like it was flying. He did not hit it that hard.
The puck flying off over here as well.
Wow. I think there's been a big progression for Tyler's game in the last year.
Absolutely.
I know they added a table to their house, so they've been playing a little bit more.
Yeah.
Now in Houston, we have weeklies on Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, and then occasionally, sometimes on the weekends, we'll have something going on.
Yep. Well, I think probably Tyler has seen the ascendance of his older brother,
Yeah.
Chris, who put in a lot of effort in the last year or two, playing like boatload of challenge matches. And he got beat over and over and over, but he learned a heck of a lot, and now he's getting the benefit of that. You can't deny when hard work pays off, and Tyler's probably seen that, and so maybe he's been putting in some work.
Speaking of a boatload of challenge matches, I remember a year ago I was invited to join. It was like 6 or 7 challenge matches in one day that Chris was trying to accomplish. Ended up having to get rescheduled, but I know now at the higher rank, I doubt he wants to do that.
Yeah. What's interesting though is Tyler is very different. His demeanor is very different than Chris.
Very.
Tyler looks so calm and almost like he has not a care in the world. Chris is much more intense. And we've got 6-6 here, which, you know, I would not, if you would have said to me that Tyler's going to be pushing Connor, I would have not believed that. So,
Yeah.
because I would not think that Tyler had gotten that far. But here he is
Beautiful
pushing
shot,
him. Yeah.
and the match was
Oh,
over.
and I guess that was the match. Okay.
Yeah, you have to catch the tail end of that.
Well done. So, I don't think we're calling any other matches tonight.
Yep.
But we will be back tomorrow following all the top matches, see who will be crowned champion here for Houston City. We got the winners bracket side. We have Chris Gibson versus Anthony Marino. And on the bottom of the winner's side, we've got Jacob Weissman versus Vince Saceda. Can we see the others? Can we see the losers or no? No? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, then we'll have some people fighting back from the loser side. I know, I believe Connor's on the losers. You got people like Munoz on the losers.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it's Austin still there. Like, that's a scary group
Murderer's
coming
row in the
out.
losers bracket.
That's not something you want to fall into.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we'll see everyone tomorrow. I believe the tournament starts around noon.
Yes. Around
11:30 Central Time. And we'll be back, and we'll see you then.
All right.
Thanks.